We do have three very special guests on the call today. And for most of you guys that are on here, you were at convention and it was great to meet you guys. It was great to see a lot of you guys. It was amazing. So thank you guys for making it out and, just committing to yourself at the end of the day, because I can tell you to go, Christina can tell you to go, Paul can tell you to go, whoever your, greater, higher power can tell you to go. And if you don't go, that's up to you. But also at the same time, we go there, we take in so much in such 3 short days, right? Which is amazing. But at the same time, what I come back to is to know and not to do is to not know, right? So when I came out, I use an acronym, ACT. You guys may have heard this before. John Maxwell used it. He taught me it a long time ago in a book. A, action, something I need to implement, right? Something I have to take action on. So as you go through your notes and you're overwhelmed with your notes, like A, action. C is something maybe you're already doing it, but you have to change, right? Maybe you're saying, hey, I do say positive affirmations, but you tell yourself like, I'm an idiot every day. C, you got to change that, right? And then T is teach, right? So T is something that you want to teach other people coming into this industry or around you, your friends, family, whatever it dictates. So going through those notes and kind of being able to map that out, that whole ACT, it really helps me prioritize and remember, what I went to convention for and what I was hoping to gain out of it, right? So again, to know and not to do is not to know, right? So let's make sure that we pull those notebooks out and that they don't stay in your notebook and never be opened until next year, right? But without further ado, again, I have 3 very special guests on the call with me today. I have Gianna Sipala, I have Heather Robeson, and I have Rami Hamady. And we're really just going to hit on three or 4 questions about convention. And really, guys, this isn't just about what they took from it. It's about what did they take from it and how can maybe I also use and implement that. So just to kind of give you guys an order, I'm going to go alphabetically backwards. So I'm going to start with Rami, and then I'm going to go, I was like, wow, what's first, G or H? So you guys are doing better than me in terms of the alphabet, you know what I mean? So I'm going to go Rami, Heather, Gianna. So I'm going to do the alphabet backwards. So questions I'm going to be going through with these guys today are going to be, one, their biggest takeaway, something that they're going to implement, something they're going to change, and one thing that they want to share with the team. All right. So Rami, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome. Thank you for asking. So you were at annual convention and you were plugged in and you were there the whole time, right? You were
Yes.
plugged in, you were ready. Your phone was dead and everything. I remember.
Yes, it
And
was.
and guys, I say that because again, to go and to not take advantage of it, it's one thing, but to go and take advantage, your phone's dying. That's a good thing when that phone's dead. So Rami, what was your biggest takeaway from convention? If you could just wrap it up in one thing.
Yeah, so it's kind of like this is basically to remain grateful. Don't forget like where you came from. Basically going to conventions, seeing all different walks of life. It's like a melting pot, but then you get to see where people came, what the journeys they went through, what they had to go through to get where they need to get. Then you kind of think of yourself and your journey, and you think, all right, what did I have to go through to get where I need to be? For me, convention was a little different this year because I was actually able to get my red jacket. So for me, I was just thinking about what did I have to go through to kind of hit Hall of Fame, and I just wanted to make sure that I remain grateful. Just be happy that I just told you this actually in the office earlier that we have the ability, guys, to kind of go backwards a little bit, and then in one day in the field, we can make all that up. And I really mean that, right? So then that kind of just had to open my eyes a little bit and stay grateful. So that's in one sentence, really my biggest takeaway for that, just remain grateful, guys. I truly mean that.
I love that. And it's like sometimes we can take a look back at, 6 months ago and we can say, oh, well, I wish I was where I was then. And it's like, well, how about, 16 months ago? Like, because sometimes we don't realize, like you said, we take things for granted. And especially in this industry, we can go out, we can make a bunch of money, we can do one or two things. We can keep working, or we can become complacent. And that's going to literally dictate what the business looks like for you. So Rami, coming from you, I'm really just happy to hear that that's your biggest takeaway. And how about something you're going to be implementing?
So the main thing I'll be implementing coming out of convention is just developing more time with one of my agents. And just like Christina had mentioned prior on the webinar that we all got to talk with Dominic Rogers, and the really key thing he said was basically not just like work people you want to work with, but they should kind of fit your personality. And if they don't, just kind of figure out what drives them, figure out really what gets them moving, what gets them going, because we all have people in our business already that we've hired, and we have that maybe, they're not 100% like duplicate, replicate, or like you look in the mirror, you wouldn't say that person would work with Rami. But however, if you get to know your agent, you actually get to know what really drives them, what motivates them, what they need out of this opportunity. It will kind of help expedite your business, and it makes my job and all of our jobs a lot easier. And so that's going to be one of the main things. I really want to focus on my agents and see what they truly need from me in this business to grow as well. So that's one of the biggest takeaways I took from that. Well, be funding right away. I'm going to talk to all my agents. I already have been. I'm talking one-on-one to all of them, trying to see exactly what do they truly need from this. Like, do they want to hit Hall of Fame? Do they want to build a business? Do they not want to? Are they saying they want to build a business, but they don't want to? Are they acting like it? Are they taking the steps that actually not just saying it or talking about strategy, but executing, implementing those steps? So those are the things I'm actually trying to implement myself at this point in time.
I love that. I think it's really important too, because like you said, we can bring an agent in and not really know or understand their situation. And everybody's situation is quite a bit different. So taking that time to really get to know who you're working with and what they're working for and towards not only helps them, but it helps you be able to kind of lead, guide, and direct them in a better manner. So that's awesome. And Rami, how about something you're going to change coming out of convention?
So the main thing I'm going to change, so one of the main things I'm going to change as well, it's tying to what we just spoke about, is basically how I talk to my agents as well, and like just my mindset going into the conversation with the agent, and as well my social media. I want to implement more on social media, but mainly I want to tell everyone on the call, basically, it's like, if you guys want to hit Hall of Fame, you all can, just stay focused. Like, I know for me, I just have to remember that I have to stay focused, even on the times that, if I think that I've worked enough for the month, or I worked enough this week, or I've finished my appointments. Like, no, guys, get to your last appointment, go to your early appointment. Even if you find yourself being successful in producing, don't lose sight of the small things. Still get up early, still brush your teeth, still like all do the small little things, because it truly matters, guys. Some people may look at that and find it funny, or think, oh, it's kind of corny, but at the same time, it's truthful, guys. Like, all the small building blocks that we really need to actually get going and actually be able to implement the larger skills, and the skills that are more advanced in life. And I truly need for myself, basically, going to tweak and adapt a few things in my routine, and that's the main thing I'm going to be changing.
Absolutely. And Dave Anderson said it best, show me your morning routine and I can show you what your life's going to look like. And so I love that. And that's really important. How about one thing that you want to share with the team coming out of convention?
So I want on my team, I want the whole team to know that your net worth is your network, guys. So you guys definitely really have to, just motivate yourselves to be intentional, to put in the time to reach up and out to your managers, to upline other people on this call, different groups. Just really make sure that you're getting the whole picture from FFL, and just really make sure that you know what to do in this business. And second, if anybody on my team wants a Hall of Fame, just so you guys can, you just got to focus. That's all you have to do. So put your head down and focus, set up goals. You can do micro grows, macro grows, whatever the case may be. We're all different. Myself, I don't really do micro grows. I just say, okay, this is my bigger picture goal. I know what I need to do to get there. Now, if you have to say, I have to, help 5 families every single field day in order to get this number, do it. Write them out. Get a whiteboard, put it on the wall. Make sure every single morning you're looking at that, so you actually understand that you can do it. And that's all you need to do in order to hit that goal. And then soon enough, guys, you will soon see in 7, 8, 9 months, you're this close to hitting Hall of Fame, and then you guys will end up hitting it. And then you'll be like, okay, wow, I can do this. And then you hit it again and again. So the main point, guys, just stay focused, truly, and take all that energy and momentum that I'm sure we're going to talk about this call today coming out of convention. Take it and ride with it, because this business is all about momentum. So if we don't have that, it makes it hard to kind of push through things. And right now we have a lot of it. So it's my team, just focus, guys. Ground, put the boots on the ground, just get going and move fast and break things.
Love it. Well, Rami, thank you so much for sharing, giving some feedback and some insight. Those are all great things in terms of, takeaway, being grateful, right? Something you're going to implement is getting closer and being more direct with your agents. Something you're going to change is your mindset going into the conversations with your agents. And then one thing you would want to share with the team is to stay focused, right? Your network is your net worth. So I love that. And guys, just like Rami said, it's like, some people might be sitting on this call saying, I can't hit Hall of Fame. And if you're on this call saying that, good for you, seriously. Because if that's the mindset, that's what's going to happen. Now, I used to sit on calls and be like, oh, well, like I might be able to do that. Like maybe I'll do it. Make a decision today about what you're going to do or what you're not going to do. Decide. It's already February, guys, right? Like we already have, it's only a month in. but you can still decide and you can still hit Hall of Fame. Even if you issued 0 goose egg, you goose egg this whole entire year, you can still hit Hall of Fame. So just make sure that we're all keeping our mind, where it needs to be. So Rami, thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate you. All right, and next up, Miss Heather Robeson. How are you doing, Heather?
I'm so excited, so happy to be here. It was so amazing to meet all of you, actual faces, and I couldn't fathom that you were real some of the time. It was just so crazy that you're actually real people, not just like this Brady Bunch family that we're on right now.
I love it. I love it. And Heather, this was your second convention, is that right?
It was, and I can honestly say last year I left convention saying to myself, okay, well, they're doing awesome. I would never be able, I wouldn't even need Hall of Fame. Like, I can't walk across that stage. Not that I can't, but I don't need it, right? And what a different mindset a year has given me, because not only do I need it personally, because it's a goal that I now have, I'm not going to say I've set for myself, I'm going to do it, but for my family, and think of all the people that I can help. And a year later, all the people that I have helped makes it real that I need to do this. I have to do this because there's more people that need me. How many people are out there that need, there's not very many of us, right? Think of all the people you get in the stack of leads or whatever you do your leads. They need our help, and we need to do that. And if that gets me to a Hall of Fame, awesome, cool. I'm happy with that. Now I need it. I need it now.
I love that. And Heather, last year going into convention, correct me if I'm wrong, you hadn't done a whole lot with Family First Life, is that right?
Correct. I had only been in for a couple of months, and I went, I don't know why, but I brought my daughter and I stayed with strangers, and which I did this time too, which is kind of cool and ironic, but I did go in kind of blind and not really working and not understanding the system, and then it took me a good 5 months. It took me 5 months after that to actually start working. So I started really full time in May of last year.
Awesome. And seeing you kind of at convention, and you were showing me some like trajectory numbers, and being able to see that and see those goals, there's no doubt you're going to crush this thing. And it's crazy. Like you said, Heather, you're like, a year ago, I was like, oh, like that would be cool, but I don't need it. And now you're
right
like,
here, right here. My
see,
number.
it's boom. She's like, it's written down, it's checked, it's in print, it's happening, right? So I love that. And hey, I'm not doubting you, not even for a moment. I know you can do that. So Heather, what was your biggest takeaway from convention?
So my biggest takeaway it was a personal thing, but it was about my business. It was about growing. It was literally the theme. It was level up, people, level up. And what does that mean to you, right? What does that mean to you? To me, it means I need to use all the resources that we have to execute leveling up my business so that I can help more families. This is the hardest time of somebody's life. If you've been in it, it is the worst time of your life, right? If you haven't been in it, I don't know, trust me, it just is. It is the worst time of your life when you lose somebody very close to you. If you are somebody's beneficiary, it's important. We have the ability to help them at least in one small aspect of their life. And it is a minor aspect. But when they have that relief of getting the help that they need during that time, it makes them a different person. We can change their lives. And how do you do that? Sure, we can write them a policy. We can be there for them. But we also have to help the other people along the way who are also similar to us. So recruiting, adding more agents, not because it helps me it helps us in very little ways, right? But to get them out of a situation that they're in and to see that working and seeing the effects of that, that was huge to me during convention. So organizing my work, personal life, utilizing the tools that they put right in front of our faces, helping as many people as we can in the different aspects, getting them a policy or getting them on board. those two things, I want to grow. I want to level up. I will exponentially grow that again this year. That's my plan.
No doubt that you will. And I love how you defined level up for yourself, right? Because it can mean a lot of things to a lot of different people. And, I like how you talked about the ability to help folks with the policy, but also the ability to be able to get folks out of a bad financial situation, right? Like, I don't know where I would be without this business. I really don't know, but it probably wouldn't be good, right? And I know that, I'm forever thankful for being brought into this business. So Heather, no doubt in my mind, you're going to help a bunch of agents and a bunch of families this year. So I'm excited for you. How about something you're going to be implementing coming out of convention?
So one of the things that I took out of that more is I had a pretty consistent morning. I had grown that since the beginning of this year, but my afternoons are kind of iffy. So I kind of decided that I need to organize my schedule better. I did add journaling into it, thanks to you guys and Paul. Got my journals. That has actually helped me take that 5 minutes right in the morning, right at night. Literally, it's 5 minutes out of your life, exercising, getting the routine in, spending time with the husband, spending time with the kids, still enjoying myself. All of that has helped me. And I think that convention reaffirmed that to me. And then I've also made a vision board, as we had heard many times. It's helpful. It's hanging right there. It's got my affirmation on it. I am strong. I am confident, unstoppable. I will succeed in faith, financial, physical, and emotional growth. My kids even ask me, what is a vision board, Mom? Right? So as a family, we're developing together. And convention, you guys, if you didn't get to convention, put it on your calendar this year. I'm going to plead with you. If you don't go there next year, then you're probably not going to be in this business next year, because it seriously is the lifeline, the blood, the strength of your growth. So I'm pleading with you, put it on your calendar for next year, find the money. You can find the money anywhere, please. It's a little bit, and it just makes such a difference. And it also helped me to hone in on my why. I literally was on a walk this morning, same walk I do every single day. And I realized that a year ago today, and this is kind of a vulnerable point here, but I was going to the food pantry and I was getting food and even up to about 3 months ago, right? So all of a sudden I walked past the food pantry and there was the sign that's sitting there every single day that I walk. And I said, hello, there's my why. I hadn't really refined it, right? And it might be helping them. It might be helping another food pantry. It might be helping whatever, but I can help other people. And that was huge that I took out of convention. And that's what I'm going to implement.
I love that. And you just hit on so many different things and so many different angles. And Heather, thank you for being willing to share that, because that's really what it's about. It's about how can we give back to people who have helped us, whether directly or indirectly, right? For me, losing my mom at 19, her passing away my junior year in college, one thing that's always been really important to me is, it might sound silly, but everything matters, right? I make sure that there's at least one college students' books paid for beginning of their semester who recently lost a parent. And I do that because I know what it felt like to lose a parent, and it doesn't feel good. Never mind going into college. I was in my junior year, these are freshmen. So even being able to start and being able to give, and like you said, refining that why are we doing this? Because it can become so mundane that you get caught up in how you feel, and it's about you, and it's about, well, I don't really feel like it, and Susie no-showed me. Like, hey, guess what? Susie no-showed me too. Like, 20 times. Like, I get it, right? But why are you doing this, right? And I think that, Heather, that's a huge point, because it's like, if you don't know why you're doing it, you're not going to be at convention next year, right? Flat like that. The why has to be right in front of your face, just like the vision board, right? I love you and the boys. I'm not even kidding. I told your boys probably 50 times, probably, can she stop talking? I was like, you're going to be so thankful, in just like a couple of years, being like, wow, Mom, thank you for propelling us forward this much in life. because they're going to understand things that people in their age bracket just would simply never understand. So I love you. I love your family. You guys are amazing. And thanks for just like honing in on that, the why. If you don't know why you're doing this, money isn't always going to be a big enough reason to keep doing it, right? So find your why.
And I've also heard that for a whole year, and I felt bad sometimes not knowing that. So if you don't know your why, it will come to you. It will come.
It will come, and it will also change, right? You know, like my why when I came in was because I'm broke, right? Like I was like, because I'm broke, right? My why now is a lot different than it was when I first came in. So you want to be having a refined why, you know, typically every couple of months, especially when you're first coming in. You hit the ground running, boom. Your whys, you're going to have to be finding new reasons. When you have a bag of reasons, there's never a reason that you can't perform, right? And now Heather, so I think that was something you're going to implement.
Yes.
Something you're going to change.
So the biggest thing for me is going to be the activity. You hear it all the time. Your activity is important. Well, check your schedule, right? That was what I'm going to implement is checking my schedule. I can't consider myself full-time if I'm taking time off in the middle of the day to do household things, whatever they are, right? I need to work more, work harder, get less tired and exhausted by taking care of myself physically, adding the gym, adding workout time, but putting it all in a schedule so I can stick to it. And sticking to it, I've learned that I need to change that and I need to implement it for good. Of course, you do change that over time, but sticking to a schedule, changing my activity level, and implementing it. It's very hard a lot of times. Everybody goes through it. And that's another thing is understanding that every one of those people, even you're standing around millionaires, you're talking to millionaires, right? Like that can be overwhelming, but they literally were you. Not even long. Average, I don't know if anybody picked up on this, 3 years. Right? The magic number 3 was thrown out so many times. And so I'm like, hey, that's not that far away. Right. So
right.
Yeah.
Love that. And like you said, you can have the best schedule, but if you don't follow it, it doesn't work. And then you also feel worse about yourself. You're harder on yourself. So I love that. And then how about one thing you want to share with the team?
So I was thinking about this, and the one question that I asked, really asked a person, a millionaire, Steve Giordano, that stuck with me, it made a big impact, was how do you know when the right time is to add or implement something new? And his answer was very simple, and not exactly what I'm going to say, but what I took from it was, you just need to do it. Don't question yourself. Do it before you need it if you want to level up. He literally said that. Do it before you need it if you want to level up. So don't be afraid to implement something new. You have uplines, you have people, anybody you can talk to, like a recruiter, or if you want to add, for me, it was social media. I did that. An accountant, like anything, or adding for your lead spend, just do it, because if you wait, you've waited too long. That's what he said.
Right. I love that. If you wait, you've waited too long. Right. So when's the time to implement it? Probably when you're thinking about implementing it, because there's a reason you're thinking about implementing it. So go for it. I love that, Heather. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for pouring into the team. Had a blast with you out there, you with the boys, with your group. So it's just amazing to see you guys growing and you just taking action in different ways. I'm really, really proud of what you've done in the past year. So Heather, thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Of course. All right. And then last but most certainly not least, we have Miss Gianna Sipala. Gianna, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing good. It's so nice to see everybody back on the Zoom call today. I really had a great time meeting each and every one of you guys and just spending time to get to know you all.
Absolutely. I know you did. And Gianna, this was your first annual convention. Is that right?
Yes.
Awesome. And what was your
I couldn't hear you. Say that again.
What was your overall experience at your first convention? Was it what you thought it was going to be? Was it a little bit different? Like overall, like
it was more than, it was like over the top. Like my idea of it was like down here, and what I got from it was like up here. So like I'm just super happy with the experience.
And are you ever gonna miss a convention?
No,
No, definitely not, right? After you go, it's like, wow.
I
now
wouldn't
know
miss
why-
it.
You're like, now I know why I'm here, right? It's like when you're in the home.
Exactly.
Love it. All right. So Gianna, being coming in and just like, again, you hit the ground running and now you're full time and you haven't even been in the business a year. You went to convention. What was your biggest takeaway coming out of convention?
So one of my biggest takeaways was one of the speakers. He said something that really resonated with me. His name was Michael Burt. He talked about like flipping the switch on how to activate your drive. And there was like 3 key points to that. The first one was activation. The second one was persistence, and the third was intensity. So after hearing like all the top producers and guest speakers at convention, like that flipped my switch, like my activation switch, right? I knew I wasn't shy to like being persistent because I show up. I knew by doing the work I was going to be successful here. But I know something needed to activate in me, and then I also needed to add the intensity, right? So like even since like after convention, I've noticed that I'm being less passive with my clients, with the whole like, I don't think I need it, or I want to talk about it with my family. And I'm just like more aggressive on like pushing my clients towards like taking the application and coverage. And just going more harder on like those phone objections, just like not letting them overcome me while I'm, just dealing with my clients.
I love that. And you hit on so many different things there, but essentially flipping that switch, right? Like that's huge, that there alone. It's like when you decide to do that and you do it, it's game over. Like nothing can get in your way. It's tunnel vision. It's like whatever is happening, it's happening. And you're just like, well, I'm over here literally flipping a switch and making changes in my life. I think that's huge. You also hit on being passive with your clients. You're like, I'm not really I remember we were talking yesterday and you were like, I think you booked an in-home and like they weren't home. And you were like, normally I would have been like, oh, like whatever. Actually, no, I lied. You told me somebody told you they had to think about it. And maybe you normally would have just been like, okay, sure, whatever. And you're basically like, you're 50 years old, like, all due respect, like you really need your dad, like, to think about it. And then by the end of the application, she was good, right? She was happy.
She was good, yeah. She was happy with the coverage. She was asking me questions about like when she's gonna get her policy and things like that. So it's like just those little things where you just gotta push harder for your client because they do want the coverage.
Right.
They wouldn't book the appointment.
Amen. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And Gianna, I think that's just huge. That alone right there, that's a huge takeaway, for the whole entire team. How about something that you're going to implement?
I really like the AMS trainings and just how they explained it. And I like look forward to getting appointed with like those carriers and just completing my annuity training and just covering like the money during my final expense appointments and seeing if they have the funds to like maximize and strategize for them for that retirement. Just for more activity as well and just kind of booking those appointments. Also, since convention, I've been in home asking for referrals, like using the FFL emergency sheet, and asking them, are they okay with me reaching out to, whoever they put, so I can be in contact with them and they're aware that we did this appointment today and we talked about the life insurance. So this week I've ended up getting like 3 sheets with like at least 2 or 3 names on each one.
So this week you went from collecting 0 referrals to being in the field 2 days and you collect 5 or 6 referrals. Awesome job, yeah. That alone is huge. And talk to us really quickly about like, what did that sound like for you in the home?
Right, so FFL, they have like the sheet, it just says right on their emergency contacts. And pretty much what I said in the home was like, if anything were to happen to you, or if I'm no longer here, we want a way to make sure that we're in contact with you. Like if I'm no longer in the business, somebody else, this is going to be for us to be in touch with you and your family. If we can't get in touch with you, you want to make sure that your family's getting the money and they understand who to reach out to and who to contact when that time comes.
Perfect. And then you're just having them fill the sheet out.
Yep, and I asked them if they were okay with me reaching out to them as well.
Perfect. Guys, it's that easy, right? Like that now you just generated your own 6 leads, right? And they have somebody in common, so they're more likely to trust you, understand where you're coming from. their friend or family member has the product, they're more likely to buy and want it and understand the need for it. So that's huge, Gianna. Thank you for sharing that. And now how about something that you're going to change?
I need to change my mindset. So I resonated with all the mindset trainings. I'm always one that's to second guess myself. And I feel that people and my clients can see that. When you're unsure of yourself, or if you're just a little iffy about something, or you don't know how to push the right way. I feel like people can definitely pick up on that. And like what I love about you guys, you, Christina, Rami, Helena, you guys, especially the team too. The team is amazing. Like you guys all believed in me before I can even see it. Like I feel like you guys believed in me before I even got contracted, which is like huge, like to get me out there and get going, which is like, I love you guys. But I forget who said it too at convention, but somebody said that if you don't believe in yourself, like no one else will, or who else will. So just kind of instilling that belief in myself and saying like little mantras here and there, like reading, affirmations, like that's huge. And like actually saying them out loud. And like, I know it might sound like corny, but like look in the mirror and see these things, like find a couple that you really like and just like repeat that to yourself. Like the more that you say it, you're going to believe it. And like, it's just gonna like, you're going to believe in yourself. You're like, I got this. Like, why did I second guess myself?
Absolutely. And Gianna, that alone is huge. Like, you said mindset, right? Like for me, I'm always a work in progress on my mindset. Like, I can always become a better version of myself. And I love how you talked about belief, right? Because, I always say in this business, sometimes you have to borrow somebody's belief until you can believe in yourself, right? And Gianna, I remember at convention, like just looking at you and being like, hey, like, that's how I feel about you. And it essentially what Sean was talking about, if somebody could, if there was a superpower that they could have, it would be being able to see them in like the same light that you see them, right? And that goes for so many of you guys within this group. And Gianna, just seeing you kind of grow, develop, push through things that not everybody's willing to push through, it's just been absolutely amazing. And it's a blessing. So I love that. And again, sometimes you have to borrow somebody's belief. So if you're on this call, you're like, well, I don't really believe in myself at all. Like Gianna said, affirmations are huge. Guys, I literally say 10 affirmations in the morning, every single morning. And they're simple. Like, I love myself. I care about myself. My clients care about me. My clients are waiting for me to show up. People can't wait to talk to me. I'm great at what I do. Nobody's better than me at my job. I am amazing. I am smart. I am enough, right? Those affirmations, look at yourself in the mirror and every morning and say it, you're going to start believing it, because guess what? You probably are whatever you're telling yourself you are. So don't tell yourself you're something that you're not, right? So that's huge. And then Gianna, how about one thing you want to share with the team?
If it's okay, I want to share the affirmation that I found that I absolutely love and like have been saying like to myself like since I found it. So I'm going to share that with you guys. Let me just pull it up. Give me a second.
You got it.
Okay. So this daily affirmation is, I'm the creator of my reality and I have the power to manifest the life of my dreams. I am truly limitless. With the right mindset, anything can be possible for me. I release all fears and doubts from my being. I believe fully that I can and I will achieve all my goals. That's it.
I love that. I love it. I love it. Let's go, G. Say it again. One more time.
Okay, well, let's go again.
All right.
I am the creator of my reality, and I have the power to manifest the life of my dreams. I am truly limitless. With the right mindset, anything can be possible for me. I release all fears and doubts from my being, and I believe fully that I can achieve all of my goals.
Love it. And guys, like, you might be like, oh, that's silly. No, that's not silly. Gianna, keep saying that as many times as you can. And we all should. Seriously, go back to that, because that's huge. That's mindset, right? That's how you fix your mindset. That's how you change your thinking. That's how you change your life, right? Right there. So it's all these little tiny things that each and every one of them have brought up, but it's the little things that make the bigger picture, if you will, right? And that's what's going to matter, right? So keep doing these things. Like, feel like it's corny, but it's not corny. It's not corny to journal.
Guys,
it's
we're
not
no
corny.
longer saying that's corny, that's stupid, that's this, that's that. I think Gianna said something along those lines. Marisa, you've said it like 3 times. Guys, if you're failing something or you believing something, it's not corny. It's not stupid. Like you literally manifest your reality. Never tell yourself anything that you're trying to manifest that's positive is stupid or corny or that you're not worthy of it, because you are. And as long as you believe you are, you're going to get it. So we are no longer saying things like, that's corny. I know this may sound stupid. Marisa's signature line. Nothing like that. Guys, seriously, like manifestation is so real. If you truly believe that you're worthy of something, that you can get it, you can. All you have to do is put the work in and have the proper mindset and be positive. Sorry to cut you off, Marisa, but no more, that's corny. I nothing like that, guys. I don't want to hear it. Do not call my phone with anything crazy like that.
Right.
Love you guys.
Especially love you too. Yeah. And I mean, you're right, Christina. And it goes back. It's like, I don't care if you think it's corny. I don't care if you think it's silly. Try it. Try it before you're calling it A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And also we have to remove these words like, I hope, right? Like, I hope I can. No, I know I can. I'm going to, right? Like, let's like take those words out and put new words in. And Gianna, that's really what you're saying. Like, like I am enough, right? Like I am enough, right? And I love that. And also just like you create your reality, right? It's up to you, not me, not anybody else. It's up to you. Just like it goes for all of us. It's up to me to figure it out. It's up to all of us. It's up to Christina to figure it out. So guys, like get that visual. Like I just took so much from each and every one of them and I was there with them. Gianna, thank you so much for sharing. And I can't wait just to see what 2023 brings. I know it's going to be a massive year for you and for a lot of you guys on this call. So G, thanks for sharing. I appreciate you.